Hello guys, back now. Didn't know if I'd have enough peace to show you what this fella's doing. Good boy. Good boy. Or he's all good, he does that all the time. But yeah, just down at the beach, and neck's killing me from doing bench press with my brother, so just thought I'd make a video while I'm out and about. Hope you all had a good Halloween. Doing a lot of thinking, so yeah, just thought I'd hop on and talk about something that I was discussing, but was highly triggered about it. That is a recent diagnosis. So yeah, got told by a psychiatrist. Just want to make sure nobody's earwigging. All good. Got told that I have EUPD traits, so emotionally unstable personality disorder traits, which is borderline, you know, and I've done a lot of research in this area. When I say research, like, I don't mean I've got a degree in it. I mean I've literally just, you know, I love psychology. It's like something that I just look at in my spare time. I think we're all fascinated by it, aren't we? But go down a bit of a rabbit hole, self-diagnosing. And so when I went in, it was kind of weird. It was like, what do I even say? A lot of times when you're meeting up with these psychiatrists, it's very much a formality. You know, I need to get my script filled, and I need my medication, need you to sign off on it, and that's all I really need you for. You know, please and thank you and goodbye. So this one was kind of just thought, you know what, the hell with it, I will just say how I've been feeling. So I said to her, I feel empty inside, you know, like no matter what I do, just feel really empty, feel like shit, just can't fulfill myself, basically. And I'm in a much better place to discuss this now. When I got the initial news, I was like relieved. And what she said to me was, you say you feel empty. Do you feel any of the following? Like, do you have feelings of worthlessness, lack of motivation? Yes I do. An unstable sense of self. And like, maybe a lot of people going in wouldn't have ever heard of EUPD, BPD. I had, and I was kind of there thinking, am I self-diagnosing here? You know, like, you think to yourself, oh, this condition sounds a lot like me. I have this. I didn't want to do that. But then she was like, why didn't you tell me all this sooner? And I just kind of said, well, I had brought information to a doctor and a psychiatrist before. Do you know, like, I said how I felt. I said I'd been tracking my mood as well. That's another one. She asked, like, does your mood fluctuate a lot? And when I said it to my brother, I was like, yeah, a little bit. And he goes, no, a lot. That's the important thing, you know, just having someone who you trust, who, you call it a spotter. I actually heard about that first when I was watching a presentation about bipolar disorder, because that's what I thought I had, but I didn't want to self-diagnose, because you can go in and list all these symptoms and think, you know, don't even know if you'd call it malingering. Malingering is more when you're faking psychosis to get out of facing jail time, at least to my knowledge. But I think it can be used for kind of almost believing you've got more symptoms than you do. And I was kind of like, I don't want to be doing that. See where the queer fella is now. Just show you this. Look at that. So that'll put you in a good mood already. Yeah, sorry, just thought I'd share that with you, give you a few good vibes for the day. But yeah, you know yourself, like, when you hear, particularly me being autistic, I was like, whenever I talk to anyone about it, it's like, oh, should we all get a bit of that? and it pisses me off so much, and I've heard other autistic people saying it. And while I was relieved to hear about, I guess EUPD gets a bad rep, fucking speeches all over the place, but people will know it as BPD, borderline personality disorder. I guess both names aren't great, like emotionally unstable personality disorder, but like a lot of people debate whether or not you have to be manipulative to have it. I know that I definitely have been manipulative in the past. I'm willing to open up to that. And like talk about the DSM-5, like the Diagnostic and Statistic Manual. That is a good reference to have, but I like to come at it from a point of view of how does it look in person. So, unstable sense of self, yes, 100%. You know, like I wanted to make a video on just masculinity and what it means in general, but I definitely touch on it in this now. So, I was always a very emotional kid, do you know what I mean? And autistic people are, you know, they all vary, for sure, but teachers were not very helpful, and psychiatrists always one of the most violent cases we've ever seen, very aggressive, obviously like not listening to the fact that I was getting picked on, like people poking the bear, essentially trying to get a rise out of me, trying to annoy me. Yeah, I had a shorter fuse than everybody else, definitely, you know, and sometimes like I could turn the house upside down when I was in a rage, and that brings about a lot of guilt and shame in me. I don't feel good about thinking of it, but it did happen, and I'm not saying it wasn't my fault, but there's definitely more of an explanation when you hear you might have this condition on top of fucking autism. And the more and more I hear about it, it's like, you know, being diagnosed with autism, that's there anyway, but comorbid anxiety, to be a very anxious kid. As a child, you're not really supposed to be anxious, which means there's something going on in the household. And like I said before in the last video I made, I was there going, look, my dad, yeah, he left and he fucked off and whatever. My mum had to deal with a lot of shit, so I don't want to get her in trouble. I know she went through an awful lot. So to my brother, I have nothing but sympathy for him, as much as we slag each other and whatever, but it was not an easy situation as a little brother. And that's another thing, the feelings of guilt and shame are huge for me, because I wasn't a good older brother, you know, I just didn't have the skills. He's very empathetic at that, and sympathetic. You often change those words, like they're different, you know. Empathy is like you feel what someone is going through. Sympathy is like, oh yeah, okay, I understand, and you offer them something, support and what have you. But they're often used in the same way, interchangeably, and they're not the same. There's a slight difference. But one sec. Yeah, so I was just going to say, the anger was definitely there, and that's a core symptom, like the rage, you know. I remember before, this is why I get feelings of like, stuff could have been prevented, but one of the neighbours down on our road, he hit me before, you know. A lot of times what people used to do was, you know yourself when you get some prick who, I'll get my older brother after you. That happened against me a lot, because I had nobody in my corner like willing to stand up and fight for me. That sounds very cringy, I know, but we all need that secure feeling. It's all well and good offering you a shoulder to cry on, but if someone's kicking the living shit out of you, it'd be nice to know that there was someone there to batter them for you. So I used to have a lot of people threatening me, and nobody in my corner going, don't you fucking talk to him like that, or I'll do this to you. And being such a naive and socially isolated kid. It was so difficult, I can't even tell you. It's very tough. I'm going to pick up in a second. I'm just going to pause it and then I'll get back to it. Just one sec, lads.